Welcome back to Relaxing Reality, and today we are going to America's oldest brewery, established in 1829. We're going to be taking a tour of the Yuengling Brewery in Pottsville, PA. We're going to be taking you along with us to check out how lager is made. If you fall in there, the Oompa Loompas come and get you.
We don't want anyone falling into a giant vat of beer, because then the Oompa Loompas come out, they sing a song, and make a whole thing about it.
How it's stored in the caves right below it.
Once we go up this set of stairs, back down the tour is not allowed. Okay, don't say I didn't warn you.
It's like the part of the Willy Wonka tour where they say you can't turn back. It's going to be an interesting, fun adventure. We're inviting you to join us and relax your reality with us.
And we don't have our kids with us today. They're at summer camp. But supposedly this is a family-friendly tour, according to their website. Yeah, you just can't bring strollers through it. And you need to be 21, obviously, to sample the beer. So this is going to be, I'm actually really, really excited about this cool little trip we're going to do. All right, we made it to Pottsville, PA, and this is where you can park for the tour. And we're going to walk up this massive steep hill. Excited? Yeah, it's a lot busier than I expected it to be.
I mean, it's Saturday. It's 11:30-ish. No kids, just the two of us. Just like the old times.
Long time ago.
Long time ago. There it is, the DG Yuengling & Son Brewery. And the original brewery was built in 1829, but it actually burnt down, and this was built in 1831. They have the tour times every half hour. And if you were before this date, you can enjoy a sample.
You can call up the loudspeaker for the white wristbands at about 11:30. When I do, you're gonna meet me behind this half wall, right behind you. There are windows. If you need to take a seat, there are benches beneath the windows. If you need to use the restroom, around this cooler, there's a hallway. You'll see the glazing. To the right, you'll see the men's room. All right, how are you?
Huh. They have a cool map over here of people pinning how far they've traveled to go to this brewery all across the country and even the world. There's a lot of people from Australia that have come here. We can just take a pin and put it in Pennsylvania because we're like not too far from here. Yeah.
Pennsylvania's pretty full, the area.
Yeah, that's Pennsylvania. Got the old sign here. Look at this. Stop a minute, sip a little, enjoy a lot. It's the old marketing logo.
First, a few things. There are 155 stairs on this tour. They're scattered around, they're not all at once. If that is too much for anyone though, we'll take a pause when we're at the first floor. I can cross, anyone needs to back out across the street back to this building, and you can use back in the tasting room for 2 free samples when we're done with the tour. Please don't cross any yellow chains or yellow lines painted on the floor. Those with little ones, please don't put them on your shoulders because we go through areas with pretty low ceilings. And video photography are allowed throughout the entirety of the tour, so feel free to take pictures and videos. All right, we're gonna head across the street to that single wooden door right there. There is a bit of a step down, so please watch your step. Follow me.
Look at this. Whoa. Oh.
There's plenty of benches in here, so feel free to take a seat. Okay. Welcome to the historic Yuengling Brewery. We are America's oldest brewery and also the oldest brewery run by a family. First, bit of history. 1828, David G. Yuengling immigrated to this area from Germany. In 1829, he established the Eagle Brewery, which stood where Pottsville City Hall currently stands. Now, 2 years after that, 1831, Eagle Brewery burned down. We had to relocate, so we relocate here on Montague Street that same year for 2 reasons. 1, because of proximity to Sharp Mountain, where we could dig out a cave and use it for cooling storage, fermenting, and aging. And 2, because of a natural spring 5 blocks up from here on Montague Street that we could use as a water supply for our beer. We are currently in the 5th and 6th generations of Yuengling. Richard Yuengling, aka Dick, is the current owner.
And to interrupt. So sorry. Also, there's some people that hopped on too real quick. I think there's 5.
I will order you a drink today.
Fine, Mother.
Lunch. I am so
But I figured
sorry.
I'd bring it over because you're gonna need a drink. All right, have a good time.
Thank you. I'm sorry. What was I saying? 5th and 6th generations of Yuengling. Richard Yuengling, aka Dick, is the current owner. It's $4 from different aspects of the business. At any time, they're ready to take over. You can find our beer in 26 states along the eastern United States, with Texas being our farthest western state. We are currently in our historic brewery. We also have a brewery in Mill Creek, Pennsylvania, which is only about 10 minutes away from here. We got a brewery in Tampa, Florida. We also partner with Coors to brew in Fort Worth, Texas. So, the room they're in right now is the historic racking room. This is where the kegs used to be filled. It took about 5 to 6 guys to work this machine behind me, one in the front and the rest in the back. Guy in the front would pull each of these levers, and by the time he pulled this last one, first one was already filled. Seal that puppy up, he would take a wooden bung like this, stick it here, use a mallet to hammer it in, then kick it to the guys in the back. Now what happens when you set a beer down on the bar really quickly? Foams up, splashes, and gets everywhere, right? Well then, you can probably imagine that these guys were soaked in beer. They say that as they walked home from work during the summertime, honeybees would chase them home. With the system, these guys could fill up to 1,000 kegs per shift. But now, over on Mill Creek, we got 2 robots named Hans and Franz. They can fill about 350 kegs per hour. So, we're gonna head to the cave. Now the ground is a bit uneven and slippery, so please watch your step. Also, there is liquid driven from the pipes. Don't stick your tongues out, it's not beer.
This is so cool, this room. Wow. It's an actual cave. There's definitely a lot of water on the ground too. Wow. I just stepped in a big pothole of water.
You're walking right in the puddles.
I know.
Welcome to the cave. We are currently 50 feet underground. Cave stays approximately 50 degrees all year round, no matter what, which helped serve as a natural refrigerator for our beer back in the day. Cave began construction in 1831. Now, School County has a very rich history in coal mining. So, coal miners came in and hand dug this entire cave with just pickaxes and shovels. It took about 10 years to dig out. We didn't want to use explosives because at the time we were constructing the cave, we were also building the brewery right above ground. Didn't want anything to go wrong with that. Now, if you look over here, you'll see a brick wall. You might have also noticed another one as we're entering. These walls are from 1920, when Prohibition was enacted. The government came in, built these walls to seal us up, so we wouldn't be able to distribute beer. Now, we were able to stay afloat during Prohibition for a few reasons. We were allowed to make a beer that had only less than 1% of alcohol, and our porter beer was considered medicinal. Had a high iron content. So, if you had low iron, anemia, or were a nursing mother, you go to the doctor, get a prescription, come in, pick a 6-pack of beer. We actually have one of these prescriptions from the 1930s in our tasting room, and I'll point that out when we get there. It's pretty cool. During this time, we also established a creamery where we used to make Yuengling ice cream and dairy products. That was where the gift shop currently is. Now, Dick sold the recipe for the ice cream years back to distant relatives, so we're no longer actually affiliated with Yuengling ice cream anymore. Those guys, they did bring it back a few years ago, but it's currently not in production. All right, we're now gonna head behind the prohibition wall. Please follow me.
Prohibition wall. That's wild.
Let's talk about how things used to operate down here in the cave. Up this ladder is a concrete room. This was used as a cistern to gather the spring water. They pull a string, a valve would open, they would collect the water coming in. This little baby stream, going to the drain right here, actually lasts the remainder of the spring water. As you can see, it doesn't really keep up with our supply and demand anymore. So now we use Pottsville city water and we filter it back to its natural state. If you look down the cave and up at a ceiling, if you want to get a better look, you can bend and squat down just a bit, and you can see a cut-off spiral staircase. Once they're done gathering the water, they head down this ladder and up that spiral staircase to the area where they filter the water and also the bottling room. Down the cave, you'll also see a big wooden vessel. This is an antique rest tank. This was used to store, ferment, and age the beer. The cave used to be lined up with rest tanks. In fact, when they wanted to store more beer, they would have coal miners come in, dig more of the cave out so they could store more rest tanks. These guys could carry up to 20 barrels of beer, but now we use stainless steel vessels that carry 900 to 2,000 barrels of beer. All right, we're gonna head back to the racking room before we go up our first set of stairs. I recommend staying on the left side and brushing your step.
They got the wet floor signs out, you know, because it's the entire floor is just soaking wet. And the walls. Look at the size of this tank. 20 barrels or so. Jeez.
Once we go up this set of stairs, backing out of the tour is not allowed. So if anyone needs to back out for whatever reason, please raise your hand. We're all good? Okay, don't say I didn't warn you. Let's head upstairs.
It's like the part of the Willy Wonka tour where they say you can't turn back. There we go.
Yeah, that's good.
This room right here is called the Ratskeller, which is a German word that means basement or cellar. It's also called the Sternenwürth, which is an old German saying that means if you do your job, you get your beer. 11:30, bells would whistle, which they still do. Workers would come in here and take their lunch break for about 30 minutes. If you take a peek in, you'll see that there's a bar in the lunchroom. You may be wondering why there's a full-on bar in the lunchroom. Well, that's because during their break, workers could get as much free beer as they wanted. They thought it would brighten up spirits and relieve the hardships of labor. We did this for a very long time, up until the 90s. But then OSHA came in and said, don't do that. Also in this room is a window which has a lovely view of a brick wall. This belongs to St. Pat's Church. They're the oldest building on this street. They predate us by about 3 years. Nobody knows why the brewery was built so close to the church, like literally 5 inches away from the church. But some people say this window served as the first confessional booth in Schuylkill County. Also in this room is an antique Kugelblock made of wood entirely from the Black Forest of Germany. Still works, however, only supposed to go off when the hands are manually turned, but sometimes when I'm giving tours, it just decides to go off on its own. I don't know if it's a ghost or a mechanical error. Either way, it scares me. Now, if you look at this wall, you'll see a mural. This depicts a man named Charles Getling and his terrier Prince. These two walked all the way from Pottsville to Chicago for the World Fair in 1893. Planned to make it in 31 days, actually made it in 28 days. During his journey, he was actually brewing a batch of Yuengling beer, putting in the hops and the barley and everything in that barrel. Probably didn't taste good by the time he got there, but it's thought that counts. So, the room they're in also exemplifies a pretty innovative fire precaution that David had installed. Because his first brewery burned down, wanted to prevent his new one from also doing that. In this room, you'll notice two big metal doors. Red one right there, and the gray one right here. These are called fire doors, and this brewery is filled with them. As we go on throughout the tour, you'll see more and more. So, for example, allow me to demonstrate. Let's say there's a fire in the rathskeller. This metal link right here is called a fusible link, and it's designed to melt. The rope could also burn off, dropping these weights right here. Weights over there would then take over, and the door would shut. Sealing contained the fire in one place so it wouldn't spread, also partially suffocating it. Alright, we're gonna head down this hallway. I'll show you something quickly. If you look up at this wall, you'll see a silo. Other half is on the other side of the wall. This actually holds the grain that we use to make our beer. They'll flip a switch and you can actually hear rustling in that black pipe, which travels all throughout the brewery, getting the grain to where it needs to be. So, we're gonna head on over to the brew house. We're gonna go down this little set of stairs, up another set of stairs, which are pretty steep, so please watch your step.
That's wild.
Really?
I mean, they're both German, so.
So, this is the brew house. We operate Monday through Friday at this facility. We make our lager, light lager, premium light, also our flight. Only takes about 2 employees to actually operate the whole brew house. Within a span of about 24 hours, we can make about 4 brews, 1 brew, every 5 or so hours. All starts, cereal cooker, right here. We add water, malted barley, and corn grits, cook for 2 hours, 210 degrees. Then, goes to the mash tun, right there. We add some more water, some more barley, cook for 2 more hours, 170 degrees. Then it goes to the lard tun, where the grain and the liquid, aka wort, W-O-R-T, are separated. If you're a taste of wort at this point, it'd be the sweet, sugary, syrupy substance. The grain does not go to waste though. Monday through Friday, a farmer from Tomako, Pennsylvania comes in the mornings, picks up the spent grain, and uses it as cattle feed. So, therefore, we have very happy cows here in Schuylkill County. Then, goes to a brew kettle, cooks for 2 more hours at 212 degrees. Within the last 30 minutes, the hops are added, and this gives Yuengling its iconic aroma, taste, and slight bitterness. Funnels to a wort cooler, drops off 54 degrees, then spends about 7 days in a fermenting tank, then about 14 days in an aging tank. So, actually takes about 21 to sometimes even 28 days before this liquid is actually drinkable beer. Now, we're gonna head on over to the brew kettle. There is a railing where you kind of look over and see it. Please don't put your foot on the ledge, lean too far over, or put your phone too far over. And for those with kiddos, please keep them at a distance away from the railing. We don't want anyone falling into a giant vat of beer, because then the Oompa Loompas come out, they sing a song, and make a whole thing about it.
Wow, this is crazy. Janitor's closet or something there. Oh, look at that. Whoa! This is a massive tank. Going up some steep stairs. This tour started, it was like 50 degrees, now it's like 85. It's getting warmer the more we climb. Look at this. A machine shop or something. Tank you don't want to fall into. Whoa.
So, this right here is the brew kettle. It can hold up to 490 barrels of beer, which converts about 198,288 bottles of beer. That's a really long song, so I'm not going to sing it. We are also currently about eye level with this stained glass ceiling. If you want to get a better look, you can better squat down just a bit. Now, this was installed in the 1860s and for a reason. Brew kettle used to be actually made of copper, as seen in this photograph on this yellow brick pillar right here. The sunlight would come in and create a glare on the copper, blinding the workers. So, they installed this stained glass ceiling to sort of act as a giant pair of sunglasses. We also got 3 murals above the brew kettle. One on the left of Cooper Shop Boys. These guys maintain and repair the barrels. Man sitting down in the blue, actually the painter himself. He's an artist from Berwick, Pennsylvania. One in the middle are the bottling women. These women had washed the bottles, and they'd worked long hours in really hot temperatures, and they weren't allowed to go to the Rathskeller to drink beer with the rest of the guys during their break. It wasn't a fun job, which is why none of them are smiling. One on the right is the happy man, and he is holding what is called the winter beer. The night prohibition ended, this particular batch of beer was ready at 12:01 a.m. So we mixed up this batch and sent a couple bottles up to the White House to celebrate the end of prohibition. Alright, feel free to take a minute to take a look at the art or the stained glass in the brew kettle. Just please don't fall over.
If you fall in there, the Oompa Loompas come and get you.
And outside. This is where our beer is taxed. Federal government taxes each barrel $18. Pennsylvania state government taxes each barrel $2.48. Other states, though, their taxes for beer are going to vary. People ask if there are government agents behind this door tasting and taxing. It's just a meter that counts the barrels. It's not that conspiratorial. Now I'm going to head up this hill for a shipping receiving area and also our bomb shop. Trucks are coming in and out. I recommend kind of coming onto this concrete area because we do have cars kind of zooming through sometimes. Now, you might think it's a pretty tight area for trucks to be driving through and turning in. Well, if you look at this brick corner right here, you can see where one truck kind of missed the mark. Across the street from us, this red building is our warehouse. And this brick building right here is where we now store our fermenting and our aging tanks. Windows, as you can see, are lined with concrete. This is to prevent sunlight from coming in and disrupting temperature needed to ferment. It needs to be kept nice and cool. Behind me is the bottle shop. Now, we're gonna head inside, but I gotta lay down some ground rules because this is an OSHA facility. Please don't cross any yellow chains or yellow lines painted on the floor, and please don't touch any of the boxes or the machinery or the conveyor belts. We don't want anyone getting hurt, and we want to make sure we can do this tour for as long as possible. Sound okay?
Yeah.
All right, let's head inside. Want to see the 90s.
That's cool. We just asked. They've been giving tours since the 90s. So this is like exceeding my expectations. This is really cool seeing everything.
I'm singing this song in my head.
So, this is the bottle shop, which is kind of a misnomer because we only do 10% bottling here. We do 90% canning at the facility. A lot of bottling now, at least for the northeastern region, is done by the Mill Creek facility. We operate Monday through Friday, so if you guys are able to come in during the week, during operation hours, you'll be able to still come in and see everything in motion. Let me talk about our canning process. Cans come pre-made, label already on them, no lid. Our cans, by the way, are made by the company Ball, which also makes all those mason jars. They enter through that opening in the ceiling, down the conveyor belt, to that machine with all the numbers on it, where they're filled with beer at a rate of about 910 cans per minute. Then they go to that machine on our left, where the lids are crimped on at a rate of about 37 cases of beer per minute. They go through this x-ray to make sure each can is filled with enough beer. If not, just knocked out of the conveyor belts. Then they go to the pasteurizer, which we will see as we exit on our left, where any microbes or bacteria that could be present are killed, and then we case them. Every hour, we can make about 2,220 cases. Does anybody have any questions? All right, let's head back outside then.
They're over here, if something breaks, doesn't, you know what I mean?
This is wild.
All right, we are about to embark on a very long journey, so please follow me. We've now reached the end of our long journey. Wow. Right. If you look up, you'll see a side of a brick building with two pane sides. Top one with the yellow perimeter says Home of Yuenglings. That was painted in 1873. Below that is a fading side from 1831 that says D.G. Yuengling and Son Eagle Brewery. We were the Eagle Brewery for the first 40-ish years of our history. That was until Frederick Yuengling, son of David Yuengling, took over the business, renamed it to just Yuengling and Son. And that was all painted with good old lead paint.
That's not coming off. Watch your head and step. Get into the tasting room area.
We are going to play a game of Snake. We're going to head down this set of stairs, which are pretty steep, so please watch your step, and also pass that message along the train.
Watch the step. It's definitely some steep stairs. Holy cow. You gotta watch what you're doing.
Narrow too.
Yes.
Ben's looking for the actual snake. There's no actual snake.
All the doors are just, they got these steel doors to prevent fire. That's wild. is a cool picture. Look at these old pictures, holy cow. I want to go back in the cave, it's so hot here.
Go to the tasting room. Let me talk about our beer. We have our lager and our light lager, our golden pilsner, which was designed and formulated by Dick's Four Daughters, our flight, which is our ultra light beer, low carb, low calorie, bongo fizz, which is a mango flavored beer, porter, which is a dark beer, premium light, those are pilsner based beers, and we also have a Chesterfield, which is an ale, the closest thing we have to an IPA. I can also hand mix you a black and tan, which is 40% premium, 60% porter. I can also hand mix you a half and half, which is half Chesterfield, half porter. And I can also hand mix you what is called a flabongo, half light, half bongo fizz. We also have a non-alcoholic option, Big Ben's Dark Birch Beer Soda. Not made by us though, made by a company called Big Ben's from Gadawaska, Pennsylvania. We also have stuff that you can purchase after everyone gets their 2 free samples. By the way, you get 2 free samples at the same time, but after everyone has their 2 free samples, you make purchases. You can buy a 16-ounce pint for only $3. We have growlers, which are $10 to buy itself. If you want to fill with beer, that's $9 more. Comes to a total about $19.60. If you do get a growler though, you have to keep it cool or it's gonna go bad. We also have drinking pretzels, flavored drinking pretzels, and club sandwiches, which is chocolate wrapped around peanut butter, wrapped around saltine cracker. I do ask that y'all refrain from making purchases until everyone's had their 2 free samples, just makes the flow a lot easier. Also, because we are running tours every 30 minutes, we're gonna run to the previous tour. They should be done with their samples. If not, just get in line and we'll serve you as soon as we can. Sound good? Okay, let's go tweak.
Oh yeah. Office. Yeah, they have a church right next to the brewery. And that is a interesting combination. And that's the oldest building. They said that was the oldest building in Pottsville, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Church. And then brewery's built after. So letting us in. We're in the tasting room. They have a bar here. You just go up and you get a couple samples, get 2 samples, and then you go back to the store and purchase whatever you like. I thought that was a real person over there. I'm gonna get the Bongo Fizz and the Golden Pilsner.
All right.
Looks awesome. Nice.
There you go.
Can I just have the quarter?
You want to see a magic trick?
I already have one. I ordered it accidentally earlier. And then, what did you say was a mix that you do? I think it was mango and flight?
Yeah, the flabongo.
Alright, I got the Bongo Fizz, which is a mango, and then a Golden Pilsner. And then you got the...
This one's a mix of the mango and
the flight.
And then this one's the porter.
The porter, yeah. That might be my new favorite beer.
Is that the mango one?
Yes, it's the Bongo Fizz. Isn't it like it's got a mango-y, fruity?
I like it better mixed with the flight.
Is that the mix with the flight?
This is the mix.
Yeah, that's good too. And this is the Golden Pilsner. That's good too. They give you a lot for the 2 samples. It's pretty.
I thought the samples were gonna be like
that. I think it's like a cup full.
Yeah. That's a lot, actually.
Cheers.
You're gonna have to finish it for me.
Yeah. I'm Lord Chesterfield the Third. This is my beer.
The funny part was when you stuck your hand out, but there was already like a fake hand on it.
Hand there.
So then there's like two hands.
They got a signed Hershey Bears jersey. Some old photos here.
Exit in the gift shop.
You always exit in the gift shop, even on a beer tour. This is great.
What's really crazy is that this is free.
Yes.
They don't charge for this tour. Samples are free. I mean, they probably sell more that way because you're not spending money on a ticket, so you feel like you have more
Yeah.
to spend on.
I'm gonna buy some Bongo Fizz if they have it.
I mean, I can't believe it's free. Most places charge you a lot of money.
Wow, look at all the t-shirts you can get. This is very smart. They take you on a tour for free. You get some samples, and then look at all the cool stuff you can buy. I like that shirt a lot. 25 bucks. That's really neat. Get some lager glasses. $6. Oh, look at that hoodie. It's got a bottle pouch. That's pretty unique. That's genius right there. $40, but that is so cool. It's that simple. Simple as that. This is candles. Look at that. Black and tan scented candle. And a flight scented candle. Got lager beer holders. That's kind of cool. And if you have a tap at home, you can actually buy the handle for 55 bucks. This was my favorite, the Bongo Fizz. I love that. I've never even had that before. It's so good. I'm gonna have to buy some. They're the different ones that you can purchase for your man cave or bar at home. This is my problem. Everywhere I go, I have to get hats. That's pretty cool. Hats are $28, just like the Hard Rock Cafe hats. This is a little museum portion they have here. There's all the different types of bottles over the years. Pottsville, PA. I thought this was neat. This is like, there's, what, 6 generations?
Yeah, so the fifth generation is currently running the company.
The fifth, no, we'll look at down there. 6th generation.
6th gen is the next one.
The next generation, they're ready to take over. That is so cool. This is so cool. This is all the authentic, original signage they've used over the years. That is so neat. This beer is not for sale. They have plenty of beer in the other room though. So they got some artifacts here over the years. Pieces of the machinery. All these old relics. That's so neat right there. Circa 1829. You got the vintage taps here. Look at this. This is so neat. Look at this cash register. Holy cow, 1911 cash register. It's a photo of the brewery from 1876. That That is wild. This document is almost 200 years old. Some kind of sail book, right? Or a log of sails. Wow. Isn't that wild? It's like almost as old as the U.S. Constitution. Well, not that old, but it's pretty up there.
I mean, close.
I think these are the water tanks that they use to pump water in. Massive. Looks like NASA. That's a cool sign right there. It was initially Eagle Brewery, then later changed to DG Yuengling and Son. And that is David G. Yuengling, founder. 1829, there he is. This is so cool. These are, looks like banknotes from way back when. Some cool signage. I love how they have a huge mural on the wall, and it's a picture that it's to signify the end of Prohibition. Ooh, plastic pitchers for $12. Or our lager bucket for $10. There it is. Bongo Fizz. So you have to buy it by the case, which is 220, 24 cans. I can count. This is good. You know, go to Chocolate World to get chocolate. Go to the brewery, Yuengling Brewery, and get some beer. You just like.
You'll probably have that for 6 months.
This will be in my fridge for a while, but this will be when I like forget that I have beer in the fridge downstairs. I'll grab some. Well, that's gonna do it for today. What a fun adventure touring oldest brewery in America.
Yeah.
And you're new to the channel, like and subscribe. We appreciate the support. And thanks for relaxing reality with us. We'll see you on the next adventure. That was a lot of fun.